Good morning. Welcome to Southwest Flavor. I'm your host, Ron Arenas. And starting this week, we are on every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. So join us every Tuesday and Thursday. We'll be here with our different guests. And yeah. you lose your
exciting.
Yeah, you lose your train of thought sometimes. But today we have Desert Sunset Realty, Matthew
Hello.
and Leah Crandell. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you having us.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
How are you guys doing today?
Pretty good. It's a beautiful morning.
Yeah.
You know, you got us out of bed a little early, so
It got cold again.
yeah.
It did. Yeah. That's Tucson for you, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. 85 one week and 55 the next week.
Yeah. I was hoping to put my pool cover on this week, but I guess not.
Yeah.
We'll wait a couple
It's
weeks.
gonna have to wait.
Yeah. I think it's actually supposed to rain in a couple days.
Yeah.
It's
Hope
crazy.
so.
We
need
need
it.
the rain so bad. I mean, we
Yeah.
are in a desert, but we need some rain.
Yeah. We were out at the Marana Stockyards during the bull sale this weekend, and it's kind of interesting because you don't realize how much the drought affects, everyone else. But
Oh,
they were
yeah.
praying for rain before the bull sale started, and I mean, it was
Right.
quite the topic of conversation. So, our ranchers and farmers are looking for it. So,
Yeah. Yeah. They especially need rain. I mean,
yeah.
we have dogs and cats at home, everyone's home, but imagine feeding, all that livestock or not feeding,
yeah.
but watering that livestock.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah. I mean, it's
there's
tremendous.
there's no natural,
Yeah.
Springs or ponds or anything like that.
Yeah.
And the farmers too. I
Yeah.
mean, rain's a big deal. We don't think about it because, it doesn't affect our livelihood quite the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I was, we were golfing yesterday and, a little
Perfect
less of
weather.
a
Well, it was a little
problem, I
windy,
guess. Yeah.
right?
The weather wasn't perfect.
Yeah.
But the morning was nice. But I was like, man, the course is real hard. Hope we get some rain. So,
Right.
So
So tell us about what you guys do with Desert Sunset Realty.
I'll let Leah take that one.
All right.
Well, we started the company a few years ago to go out on our own and try to do things a little bit differently. Most people have a real estate story that aren't usually positive, and our goal is to change that.
Okay.
So we strive to give a good experience for people and primarily do business on referral. And we have a lot of corporate connections also and some unique programs and creative ways to help people that are a little outside the box that we can do because we own the company. So there's a lot of freedom in that. And it's afforded us the ability to help a lot of people out. So.
Yeah. And you're the broker, correct?
I am.
Yeah.
I am the designated broker.
Yeah. How long have you been in real estate?
Since 90 something.
Okay. So you've seen all the craziness and the downturns and
The crazy
everything.
market and ups and downs. It's all been in Tucson. So Tucson's a unique market in and of itself, but
Right.
it's very interesting. I love it. It's something that I just started young and kept doing and have really enjoyed it and was able to make a career out of it. And I mean, it's done us very well. So we appreciate it and want to give back as much as we can to the community that's supported our whole lives.
Right, right. So do you still see an influx of people from maybe the West Coast
Everywhere.
everywhere?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's quite a lot from Northeast. We do get Midwest too. We get, and of course, California.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And the fires, started a little bit of more of a domino effect coming this
Yeah.
way too. So, it'll kind of be interesting to see what happens over the next year.
Right. I know just from working in a lot of different retirement communities that there's a lot of Midwest people here, a lot of Chicago and Ohio and
Yeah. We
Right.
run into that a lot too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the weather, I mean, we are unique in that we don't have natural disaster weather.
Right.
We don't have earthquakes, mudslides, hurricanes, snow typically. You don't have to rake leaves or shovel snow.
Right. Exactly.
We don't have humidity. I mean, it just gets hot here for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And most of them leave. Well, at least the ones in the retirement communities, they leave for at least 4 to 6 months.
Yeah. We've seen less and less of that the last probably 5 years. You know,
Oh,
I think
yeah?
COVID changed that a little bit. Put some people in more of a permanent situation.
Okay.
But you're right. I mean, it's still a pretty big portion of our population that moves out when it gets hot. But it is kind of interesting how that kind of changed over the years. And
Okay, I didn't think about that, about COVID changing their travel habits, but I guess COVID kind of changed everything for everyone.
You know, it just kind of almost reset a lot of things.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Once you're locked down by force, then people just realize that you can do a lot from one place.
That's true, yeah. And they could endure the summer here.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then how much is it to have two places?
Yeah, and the upkeep and the taxes and flying back and forth. Yeah.
Yep, everything else. Maintaining two properties is difficult when they're not in the same area.
What I would see back when I was working on air conditioners every day is the people that would have two houses still, they had young grandkids. And so they would go back for, the grandkids' birthday parties and Christmas and all that stuff. But then when the grandkids got older, maybe started college, and they could be, spread out throughout the United States. So that's when they usually came over here and stayed.
Yeah.
Right.
For, full time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I always thought that if I was born in a place that people work their whole lives to retire one day, that I should stay here and appreciate it.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I tried to run away a few times, but for whatever reason, I stayed or came back immediately. But I worked in Vegas for a little while, but it was like 3 months.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I ran away when I was 17, but I didn't make it any further than Sunrise Ski Resort. So,
Why Vegas?
I was working in the glass industry, and they were doing just really big jobs on casino renovations. And the money was great.
Always.
And so, there was a group of us that got pulled from a company that I worked for that installed windows here, and we went up for a little while and spent it all, but we
did you have to join the union and everything, or I think that town's pretty much all union.
But it was a cool experience. It just I'm a hometown kid, and Vegas is a desert, but it's not this desert.
No, it's not.
It's beautiful here, and I always missed the mountains and the activity, and I grew up here, so all my friends and family are here, so it only lasted a few months, but I had a good time.
Way back when I was working at Walgreens, they went into the Las Vegas market, and they asked some of us to go over there and set up stores. But I was newly married, and we decided not to do that, not to follow that.
So. Well, and sometimes I envied those guys that just chase the money, because you'd meet them on jobs and stuff, and you're just like, man, you get paid that much
if
to
you're
do the
single.
same thing I do. But you got to be able to pick up and move and go to where the work is. So it gets tricky when you're trying to put down roots.
Yeah, definitely does. So what does the market look like here in Southern Arizona right now?
The market is really good right now.
Yeah.
I feel like whenever I have a client who's both a buyer and a seller, and they don't have a hard situation on either side of it, then it's great. It's a good place to be. It's not tipped one way or the other. You're not going to get hurt on one side or the other. So
That's good.
I think it's positive. Rates are holding.
Yeah.
And honestly, it wasn't that long ago when 6% was wonderful.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Try to remind people that below 5 isn't sustainable.
Yeah. Very good. Well, hey, let's take a break and visit our sponsors, and we'll be back with Southwest Flavor.
Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, coppercreekcookies.net.
We can print anything on our soft vanilla logo cookies. We deliver them and other sweet treats locally. We are located at 4249 West Ina Road, Suite 121. Call us 520-300-1131. We bake smiles.
Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, coppercreekcookies.net.
Your favorite radio just got bigger, bolder, and better connected. Live the Dream Media is revolutionizing how you stay tuned in. With our explosive growth in online radio and our brand new mobile app, your entertainment goes wherever you do. Stream your favorite shows, discover new hits, and connect with audiences across the digital landscape, all all at your fingertips. Advertisers don't miss out. Join our expanding digital network and reach engaged listeners across platforms. Download the Live the Dream Media app today and experience radio reimagined.
When exploring America's best city for Mexican food, start off at one of the best, El Taco Rustico. Chef Juan Almanza is crafting some of the best dishes in Tucson at 2 locations, Grant and Oracle, and the new Rustico Dos at Park and Silver Lake. Everything on the menu is a standout, from the shrimp rojitos, costilla beef ribs, to Arizona's best birria. Head over to Rustico Dos for Juan's amazing smoked brisket, pulled pork and ribs, plus all your Mexican favorites. For more, check out tacorustico.com.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
It's cold outside and you need safe, reliable heat for you and your family. We are back with Southwest Flavor. I'm your host, Ron Arenas, and we're talking with Leah and Matthew. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you doing?
We're doing good. We're doing good.
Hanging in.
Yeah. We took care of a couple little, well, we didn't take care of, our director, Shay, took care of a couple little technical difficulties there, so that's why we had a little bit of an elongated break. But we are back, and everything is working.
Yeah. Where were we?
Housing, Tucson.
Tucson, yeah. And you're talking, or you were going to talk a little bit about all the new construction, all the new residences that are coming up.
Tucson's growing. We're reaching out northwest, Marana especially.
Yeah, Marana's exploding.
And the apartments too. It's crazy.
Yeah,
There's thousands of them going up.
Wild.
Yeah. They're all going to want to buy houses someday.
Yeah. Wish I'd have thought of that.
Right?
Yeah. But new construction's where it's at right now as far as where people can get kind of the biggest bang for their buck, just because they corporately can offer rates that you just can't buy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can get in the 3s, 4s, depending what promotions from builder to builder. And there's not any one place where you can find all of that information. So that's where we come in.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Helps to have someone in your corner.
Yeah.
It's hard to get all that information.
Right. So if you are looking for a house and you're looking for a new build, you definitely want to have a realtor. Yeah. Because you want to have that advocate for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think you don't need a realtor necessarily when you're buying new construction, because you can find the information online. You can walk into a site and you don't have to have someone with you.
Right.
You don't have to have anyone access the properties for you.
Yeah.
But it is very beneficial, because I compare it to a car dealership. You walk onto a Ford dealership, they're going to want to sell you a Ford.
Sure.
And they're not going to tell you what your other options are anywhere else.
Right. You're only getting
Yeah.
one side of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And everything that you're doing is under their umbrella, the financing and all that. So it's just
Oh.
nice to be able to have somebody that can take a look at what's going on and say, it's all straight.
That's right.
Or
And you guys have
or
already
here's the questions
been there and
you
done
need to
that. I
ask,
mean,
yeah.
that's what you do for a living. So you
Yep.
see all these transactions, you see these different things that you know what to look for.
Yeah, and there's points in any transaction where you can and should negotiate. And
Yeah.
so, it's just, good to have a good real estate agent on your side so that they can know when it's appropriate to push.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And especially with new construction, there's less wiggle room as far as your timelines go. And that trips people up a lot if they have
Oh.
a property that they need to sell that they currently
Oh.
have, and the timing of all of that, and double moves or interim situations. And we help solve all that. There's lots of ways around those things. People that have leases that don't line up with when a home's going to be complete, or when the home with the deal that they want is ready, might not line up with their lease. And we have solutions for people in both of those situations. It helps make it a lot easier and a lot less stressful. Doesn't have to be.
Right. And do you focus on the Northwest, or do you go all over Southern Arizona?
All over Southern Arizona, even outerlying areas, Benson, Casa Grande, even up into Phoenix. Licensed in the state,
Right.
but I would say Northwest Tucson's probably my favorite.
Yeah.
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 Well, it's your
Kinda-
home too.
Yeah, we like the edges,
Yeah.
That's what I say,
Yeah. I went to school on the east side, but I love the Northwest
I didn't know
side.
that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saguaro.
Okay. You've lived up on the Northwest side for a long time.
Yeah.
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 I was a firefighter wife for 17 years. So Northwest Fire, Golden Ranch Fire, just very
Okay.
familiar with Oro Valley area, Marana. Had lots of houses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about Vail? Vail's a growing community too,
Vale's
isn't it?
growing
Yeah.
crazy out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wild to me how far Tucson reaches now.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't used to.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
The drive keeps getting longer and longer from
does.
one end to the other end.
Our
Yeah.
one freeway.
Yeah, we could have a
Yeah.
whole discussion about
They're
freeways.
allegedly
Oh, boy.
fixing that.
Yeah. There's no easy way to get
Yeah.
from one to the other, but
There's not. At least if it's from Marana to Vail, it's all I-10.
Yeah,
So as long
that
as
is
there's
true.
nothing going on I-10, you can get there relatively
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
But if you want to get to the northeast, like Sabino Canyon or something,
Oh,
from Marana,
that's crazy.
yeah,
I know.
that is.
you can get buried in there for sure.
Yeah.
But I love the area. I love the growth. I think that no matter where you are in Tucson, the new construction is phenomenal. There's so much out there, and things aren't as far as they used to be. Even Southwest, there's so much developed out there that the homes that were 30 minutes from downtown.
Oh, yeah.
They all have Home Depots and grocery stores, and you don't
Right.
have to travel into town to get to the things that you need. Kind of like Gladden used to be in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Now they have the new fries.
Now we have the new fries.
And there's big things happening in downtown Marana, and I
Yeah.
mean, the master plans. I mean, it's a growing community in a responsible manner, and I think that's really cool for not just us who already live there, but the folks that may be coming one day.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And you talk about a responsible matter. What do you mean by that?
I think Marana just has a good head on their shoulders with the water situation and development in itself, and that they're not trying to push the limits and overgrow.
That's
And they
good,
are
yeah.
very conscious of the way of life out there, and that the community was built on that, and they're not trying to push anybody out, I guess is what I'm
Okay.
getting at. And
Yeah.
so there's room for all kinds out there, and it's just a real wholesome community.
Yeah.
So
I like Gladden Farms. We're in there all the time.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we actually live in the county, so we live between Marana and Oro Valley.
Yeah.
So
do we.
yeah, I don't, I don't really like authority of any kind. So as little as possible is where I'm at.
Right.
But I mean, Marana's home. That's where we
Yeah.
raise kids, and for the most of our adult life, we grew up, I guess.
Yeah. And what got you into real estate?
Leah.
Yeah.
So I grew up in two family businesses, really. My dad had a big glass and aluminum contracting business here when I was younger, and it didn't make it through the economic downfall of the late 80s. And but anyway, my mom later remarried Donnie Cathy, who owns Cathy's Vacuum and Sewing. And I spent a few years in construction and doing some other things, but eventually I went to the other family business, and I worked there for almost 20 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And, I just got tired of retail, really.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was amazing. Our customers are great. I still have personal relationships with a lot of them today, but just after 20 years of, answering phones and managing retail, it was grating on me a little bit. And Leah had started the brokerage, and, it started doing okay. And so she kind of created an opportunity for me, I guess.
Okay.
And me and my family were in the middle of a succession plan anyway. And so it was just very convenient that they kind of helped us figure out my way out of the business. And
okay.
so
Retail's tough. It
is.
really is.
It is. Yeah.
It's its own animal. Yeah.
It is. And it's a very specific industry, sewing. And that's where most of the, business came from, was the sewing side.
Yeah.
We do sell vacuum cleaners at Cathy's Vacuum and Sewing. You should shop local. But but really what they do is, they're a sewing machine boutique store.
Okay.
And top 10 in the nation in all their brands, and they do great things, incredible education. But, just 20 years was a long time anywhere.
Yeah. It is.
And it was family. So, we had some good days and bad days.
Right. Yeah.
As well as anyone.
And sometimes with that family, you take that argument home or whatever. So that can be tough.
Yeah.
That can be really tough.
Yeah.
Or Thanksgiving or, Christmas.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, but, we were able to stay friends, and everybody's great. And I mean,
Good.
I always say my siblings are my best friends. I mean, they really are.
Yeah.
So
I know my mom over the years has utilized Cathy's Sew and Vac.
thank you.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yep. She's a big sewer, so
Yeah.
she's done a lot of that over the years and done different nonprofit stuff with her sewing and quilting and all that stuff.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was probably the best part of it, was the customers and the creativity, and the stuff that they would do. And I got to kind of almost be raised by this whole family of women who had already lived a life and had amazing careers. My staff and our customers, they were women that had been sergeant majors in the Army and CEOs and tech, companies and all kinds of stuff, and they just, had either retired or, found a slower life here in Tucson. And that's kind of where our customer base, came from.
Yeah.
And I got to learn a lot about people. And I always tell people I learned to lead from women.
Okay.
So it's kind of natural that Leah is my leader.
There you go. Yeah.
So
it's interesting to me because the sewing community and culture, and I think this is unique to Tucson too. They're not just at home generational grandmas.
Right.
Very proficient, professional, like Matt said, just lived a whole full life and have so much to share and to offer. And I think Tucson's just very unique in that we have people from all places and all walks of life. And we're very oddly connected, I think, for a big, small town.
yeah.
Just the local focus and the way that businesses support each other. And we know each other from probably 3 different angles, but most recently, the Marana Chamber. And even the Marana Chamber, I think, is very unique in the connections and the support that everyone offers each other, not out of force or obligation, but really out of support and building each other up and being there for each other and trying to grow each other's businesses and, spread the goodwill and do good in our community and support our people. So it's fun to be a part of it. It's neat to see it. And it's hard to explain to people that just don't know.
Right.
They aren't from around here.
Yep. Yeah. Well, with that, let's take another sponsor break, and then we'll be back in just a couple minutes.
Hi, I'm Alan Murdoch. For the past 20 years, I've been buying, fixing, and selling properties right here in Southern Arizona. And I want to buy your property. Whether it's a house, apartment, commercial building, or vacant land, regardless of the condition or the situation, I want to talk to you. When you sell to me, I pay cash and it's hassle-free. No repairs, no closing costs, and no commissions. If you have a property you don't want to deal with and you want a quick solution, call, text, or visit selltalon.com. Again, that's selltalon.com.
Discover the power of 88 Crime, where your anonymous tips are rewarded with cash. When you call in anonymously with the tip, you are given a code. With the code and a password, you can walk into a bank and redeem your reward anonymously. If your anonymous tip results in a felony arrest, you can claim up to $2,500 cash reward. Let's stop the silence on crime and strive for a safer community. For more information, please visit 88crime.org or call 88crime.
Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, coppercreekcookies.net.
We can print anything on our soft vanilla logo cookies. We deliver them and other sweet treats locally. We are located at 4249 West Ina Road, Suite 121. Call us 520-300-1131. We bake smiles.
Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, coppercreekcookies.net.
Shipping packages is a facet of modern commerce. At Tucson Pack and Ship, we work with major delivery companies to make sure your goods get where they need to go. In addition to shipping, we also offer private mailboxes, notary services, and document shredding. We'll also safely pack your valuable items. Tucson Pack and Ship, Tucson's one-stop packing and shipping source.
Welcome back to Southwest Flavor. We were talking a little bit about Marana Chamber, one of our favorite things. I've been a member of Marana Chamber for probably close to, I don't know, 13, 14 years at
Wow,
least.
that's great.
Yeah. And we're all going to be at the breakfast tomorrow. Live the Dream. The whole team, all the podcasters are going to be there.
Oh, fun.
And then, of course, I'll have Frank the Tank from Fix Rock Schooling, Heating and Plumbing there.
That guy.
Yeah.
Number one in the number two business.
I will tell you, he's handy. If you need to find somebody or know somebody, you just...
He does. He knows more
He's
people
a
than I do.
connector.
like, hey, man,
Yeah.
I need a guy.
Everybody
He's
knows
like, I got a
Frank.
guy.
And that was the one thing that we were talking about. Well, you're talking about the Marana Chamber is sometimes you just connect people. You know, you're not going to benefit out of that, but sometimes someone needs to find someone, you know, some certain service, and you're like, I got a guy for you. You know,
Right.
I already know him or her, and
It comes back to you, though.
it does. It comes back to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People use you as a resource, and it builds a relationship and trust. And really, we've done plenty of business with people that have recommended us that haven't actually done business with us because they know us and they trust us and they understand we know our business, and that's the best way to have a recommendation.
Yeah. Definitely that warm referral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a referral town.
Yeah,
It is.
It's a
really
huge
is.
referral
Yeah.
town. Yeah.
Everybody knows someone.
Yeah.
But part of what we do with the chamber and networking, Matt created a group from Hero Breakfast, and I'll let him talk about it. But that was kind of what we wanted to do to give back and to build Tucson up and the people in our town. But it has taken on a life of its own.
Tell us about that, Matt.
Well, I mean, at the beginning, it was just kind of an idea that what we could do was, thank heroes by taking them to breakfast, And I have a brother that is a former Marine, and he is very uncomfortable when people thank him for his service. So it kind of started with an idea of like, how could we honor this idea of thanking somebody for their service without making it uncomfortable?
Okay.
And it turned into something almost totally the opposite. Obviously, we try to make it as low key as we can, but we kind of decided through just talking about the heroes in our lives and the friends we had that we wanted to do it as a group thing. And one thing led to another with the help of Pastor John McLean. He kind of helped us put some things together, but we started taking 5 heroes to breakfast with, they were allowed to bring a guest. We pay for them and their guests. They get a few small gifts from local business leaders.
Oh, cool.
And it's at a local restaurant, and it is just breakfast. It's no sales pitches or anything.
Right.
We buy them breakfast, thank them for what they've done for the community. And if they want to tell their stories, they can. If they choose not to, there's no pressure. Just kind of the idea of the tribe, I guess, and supporting each other. And it's opened a lot of doors. We've made a lot of connections. But one thing that kind of happened is when we first started, we were kind of in the mindset of first responders and military.
Sure.
And as soon as we put the website up, I started getting nominations for things outside of the box, which, the first one was a young man nominated his mom for being just a good single mom.
Oh,
you
cool.
know, and we just really quickly realized that a hero is whatever you believe it is. And so that's our motto now, is that if you believe they're a hero, so do we. And so it's open to anyone. If you want to honor somebody at herobreakfast.com, you can answer a couple questions, put in a short story, and it is not a lottery. We do try to get everybody to a breakfast, and I say we do it about once a quarter because it is something to put all of this together.
Yeah,
you wouldn't think of it 5 strangers inviting 5 guests and, finding a place. And we try to make it intimate and private so that we're not in the middle of a restaurant, banging around and talking, and, we want them to feel comfortable. And it turned into something more. And I've had SEAL Team 6 members nominated.
Really?
We've had, firefighters and police and
teachers.
A lot of teachers.
Several special education teachers. So
that's a tough job.
A school bus driver.
Yeah.
And
that could be a tough job too.
Yeah. And so, it's kind of fascinating how, as the nominations come in, how these people have touched so many lives and the lives they have touched.
Right.
People don't realize the impact
you just don't
they
really
have.
realize it. And then obviously we get a fair amount of some of the, I guess what you would consider more known people in Tucson that are running, heads of charities. And, Chris Edwards was nominated.
Sure.
He does a lot for Tucson and stuff. And, that's even interesting sometimes how they're nominated because it is more of a smaller touch usually. It's not the big thing that they're doing.
Yeah.
So it's been really cool. And the second, I guess maybe the third fascinating thing about it is the guests that they bring are amazing. And they are all heroes in themselves. When they sit at the table and start talking about what they do and what their passions are, it's incredible. Yeah. So it's been a really cool thing for us. And, we're not a 501c or charity yet. We're looking into it. But, we just wanted to be able to do something. And at the time, that was really what it was. It's what we could do. And since then, we've tried to couple it with other organizations and causes to help raise money and, build awareness for whatever it may be, whether it's Team Lizzie Bell for medically fragile children or, helping out the firefighters with recruitment or anything like that. We're ready to help however we can. We like heroes.
Yeah.
And it even turned into a networking event also. That kind of grew from Pastor John McLean, Common Good Radio Show, and Veterans Rescue Mission. He and Matt got to talking, and we're like, we can showcase heroes. We can have someone speak. We can share it with other people. We can use this as an opportunity to connect.
Right.
Connect other people. And it strangely turned up quite a few nonprofits, and you would think that would be more of a competitive arena, but it was surprisingly cooperative. Lots of people share resources and share, I guess, common needs, and connecting those people together doesn't have to be competitive. So
yeah, that's true.
It was interesting, refreshing. We're learning a lot about just that culture and just all the ways that you can support Tucson too, because there's so many of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's neat to have them at the networking event too, which is the third Wednesday of every month. It is usually at the Station Pub and Grill in Marana, but we do sometimes bounce it around. But you can find out more about that on Facebook. But yeah, it's unique. I think because we do focus on like the heroes and their story,
Right.
And then we kind of do a little bit of a backwards networking thing where you have to learn about your partner and present for them. So it's kind of fun. And a little
Yeah,
more
we've done that before.
interactive than the average networking event.
Right.
But yeah, it draws very unique people, and so it's been kind of cool for us, and it helps out the community, I think, to have anybody collaborate, but especially the nonprofits,
Right.
Because, some of them just need a little direction, that they didn't really know. And I mean, just, meeting the right person from the right organization, can be a tipping point. So it's been kind of interesting to see who's kind of made friends.
Awareness is huge. I mean, we didn't know about half of the places that have been around for quite a long time. I mean, to include Team Lizzie Bell, I mean, they've been around for like 30 years. I had no idea.
Yeah.
And they've done quite a lot for Tucson families for that entire time. And it's incredible that all of this is going on under the radar and nobody really promotes or advertises it very much. There's not,
Yeah, it's just a kind of a different world because I think there's just not, it's marketed differently, number one. But I mean, number two, I mean, you don't have a lot to frivolously spend on marketing as you would in a private business, where you could, really focus, figure out your ROI, things like that. So, it's just more awareness campaigns and stuff. And I mean, I think sometimes they just get buried in the noise, so people don't really pay attention. But there's a lot of people doing a lot of good here. And that's what the Hero Breakfast is about. I mean, just the unsung and the unseen.
Right.
I mean, I don't care if you're, a janitor just being nice to kids. I mean, if somebody believes you're a hero, we want to honor that.
Yeah. And that is so cool. I mean, just think back throughout your life, all the people that have touched your life, the coaches, the pastors, your teachers,
Absolutely.
maybe principal, like you said, the janitor that maybe said good morning to you every day when you're at your lowest,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what it's about, I think. And we also want to inspire people to be naturally grateful.
Yeah.
We talked about it at one point a while back about it being like kind of pay it forward. And we kind of decided it's not that. Because it's not because somebody did good for you. I mean, just, be grateful that there's people out there doing good.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
All right.
That's my soapbox on that, I guess.
Let's take our last sponsor break, and we'll be back in just a couple minutes with Southwest Flavor.
Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, CopperCreekCookies.net.
We can print anything on our soft vanilla logo cookies. We deliver them and other sweet treats locally. We are located at 4249 West Ina Road, Suite 121. Call us 520-300-1131. We bake smiles.
Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, CopperCreekCookies.net.
Your favorite radio just got bigger, bolder, and better connected. Live the Dream Media is revolutionizing how you stay tuned in. With our explosive growth in online radio and our brand new mobile app, your entertainment goes wherever you do. Stream your favorite shows, discover new hits, and connect with audiences across the digital landscape, all at your fingertips. Advertisers don't miss out. Join our expanding digital network and reach engaged listeners across platforms. Download the Live the Dream Media app today and experience radio reimagined.
When exploring America's best city for Mexican food, start off at one of the best, El Taco Rustico. Chef Juan Almanza is crafting some of the best dishes in Tucson at two locations, Grant and Oracle and the new Rustico Dos at Park and Silver Lake. Everything on the menu is a standout, from the shrimp rojitos, costilla beef ribs, to Arizona's best birria. Head over to Rustico Dos for Juan's amazing smoked brisket, pulled pork and ribs, plus all your Mexican favorites. For more, check out tacorustico.com.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
It's cold outside and you need safe, reliable heat for you and your family. For a limited time, Picture Rock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing is offering a free furnace with the purchase of a qualifying HVAC split system. For fast, reliable service, call Picture Rock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing at 520-492-0748 or picturerockscooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Hey, we are back. We're talking about cuddling, but we're not going to talk about that on air.
Moving on.
So the next thing that we're going to talk about has nothing to do with cuddling.
Yeah, next episode.
And that's the guys' night out.
Yeah. So with the kind of hero breakfast theme, I guess, me and my friend Jacob were sitting in the garage one day talking about how there's nothing to do in this town.
I've known Jacob since he was a young man. He went to school with my son.
And he had a couple other friends at the house, and they were kind of complaining just about that. There's nothing to do in this town. And I told them that that was not true, that they just didn't want to find it and were too lazy. So basically this idea was kind of born of that conversation, and me and Jacob started talking about trying to throw some kind of guys event. And we settled on a guys night out during the week that's activity focused, so you're not going out and doing Jaeger bombs. And there's a beginning and an end, and obviously if guys want to go out and hang out afterwards, cool. But just the idea was a place that you go meet guys that weren't trying to get all drunk and drive all over town, and have a good time, support a local business, find an activity, highlight that, and just kind of build some kind of little community of male bonding, I guess. And it's turned into, good friendships and, just very positive environment. And we have all kinds of people that come from, entrepreneurs to, smart guys. We got a few nerds, engineers in the group, and, blue collar like Ron comes, and we've had a couple guys bring their adult children. Cool. It is open to anybody, but they do need to be of age. And it's not a sober group or a religious group. We're open to all ideas, but we have some sober guys in it. We have some Pastor John McClain's attended a couple times. So we support everybody. And it's more just about having a good time and not getting into any trouble. And we're married, so we go through the married thing. And she knows that I'm going out, and I'm going out with people that are responsible, and that at some point it's going to end, and I'm going to come home, and
we're not going to get ourselves in trouble.
No shenanigans involved, So I figure it's kind of an easy sell if you're a dude and you want to get out of the house. Might give your wife some time alone, or an opportunity to do something else.
Everyone,
you're right. I'm sure our wives need a break from us sometimes.
We kind of intentionally do it on a weeknight for that, but everyone always complains no matter what night you throw an event. So we bounce it around a little.
We found that out,
but we do intend on doing some bigger stuff and doing a pool party in the summer, and
cool.
And letting the guys invite their ladies, and maybe doing some kind of Christmas party, and getting everyone involved. But it's been really cool so far. 15 to 20 guys show up, and we just kind of try and do something cool. We did board and brush. That was really cool.
We're
going to do that one again. We've done axe throwing. We're doing bowling tomorrow.
I wish I could have gone with you for the axe throwing.
We'll rotate that one back in too. They were really excited about it. And
I used to be in a league before COVID.
Oh, wow. Ringer.
It was a long time ago. It was 5 years ago.
And I will mention dinner's always included. So that is also part of it, is that we know that it's on a weeknight. You might be coming from work, but we're going to, make sure you get fed. And, you're not sitting there starving to death while we're making you.
And there's no long speeches or presentations or anything like that. We are guys hanging out.
We don't mind if you do business with each other. We love that. But how we introduce ourselves is just, tell us your name and tell us something about yourself. And we try to encourage them not to talk about their trade. Because, somebody said to me a long, long time ago, never be what you do.
Yes. Yes.
And I have never forgotten that. So I do encourage that with other tradesmen, because I do know how easy it is for, your work to become your life.
Yeah, you kind of fall into that.
Yeah, but I've had those moments in my life. So.
Yeah, you're more than what you do.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. It takes a little bit of work, but yeah, you should be well diversified.
Yeah. And this is kind of an opportunity for that too. You know, maybe those guys that get buried in it and don't really have an opportunity to get out, and
they don't
aren't
have an
close
outlet
to a lot of people. You know, I mean, we want everybody to come, and we're not all buddies. We don't all know each other. There's always strangers, and you know,
very cool.
We adopt them all.
Yeah.
I think it's a neat way for guys, especially, to get to know more people in town. Just because I think women kind of have it a little easier in mom groups and church groups and with kids and even at the workplace. I mean, we're just typically a little bit more social.
Yeah. Women are more social than men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can ask a girl at work to go, have lunch, but it's a little awkward for a guy to just be like, "Hey, bro, why don't you go have lunch?"
Yeah, I mean, it really is.
And we could sit across the table from each other and not talk to each other for 20 minutes, and it'd be fine. Yeah, we could be watching a football game or something. And
so it's just different with guys, and we're trying to encourage and make friends and meet the community, and I mean, especially small business owners, because you probably just like me know a lot of small business owners that if they just went to a networking event and talked to people about who they were, it'd probably change everything for them.
Yeah.
And so if you're not comfortable with that, what a great way to test the waters by coming to a non-business networking thing with just some cool dudes.
Yeah.
And I mean, we got guys who hang blinds for a living, and guys that install air conditioners for a living. I mean,
Yeah.
So one of my buddies, his kid is basically a professional karateist.
Oh, wow.
He's young. He's still on his path to school, but I mean, it's just interesting who you meet.
He's a ninja.
He's met Chuck Norris. He's, has all kinds of medals, but it's just a interesting town. So it's kind of cool when you get dudes together here, because, we all know like a group of people,
broaden your circles.
Yeah. I mean, make more hubs so you have more spokes,
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. It's neat, though. I think it's fascinating to me how much it's grown, and that, like Matt was saying, when we intentionally try to put together a breakfast as a thank you, and it's a give, and it's so difficult to coordinate. And given that, the fact that there could be a guy social group that just grows kind of on its own, and I mean, they can fill a room, they have to close it down. So I think it's phenomenal. It could be bigger than what it is, probably.
Yeah. And we've talked about doing stuff together. I mean, so it's one of those things where I think we can take it anywhere we want. And I mean, it's all positive. I'm trying to get her to start a ladies group under the Hero Breakfast,
Oh, cool.
So maybe they can do something also.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of big ideas, and we just hope that we can keep doing well so that we can do well for the community.
Right. And so how do people get a hold of you if they want to use your services? So
they can reach me, Leah Crandell, designated broker and owner of Desert Sunset Realty, Desert Sunset Realty Tucson.com, or reach me direct, 520-404-6869. You can email either one of us, Leah at Desert Sunset Realty Tucson or Matthew at Desert Sunset Realty Tucson.
If you want to talk about the Hero Breakfast, you can email heroBreakfast@desertsunsetrealtytucson.com. If you would like to nominate a hero, which please, I hope that you do, you can just simply go to herobreakfast.com and answer a few questions, and they will get on the roster, and we will get them to a breakfast.
It's easy to find us on Facebook, too. You can, you don't have to remember all that.
And you can call or text me, 520-975-1638, but you can find us online.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This was fun.
That was a great hour.
Amazing time. Thank you.
All right. That's another episode of Southwest Flavor. We will be back this week, Thursday, 9 a.m. We'll see you soon.